It's Pete and Corinne here.
And welcome to the Primary Music Show.
Welcome. Today we're going to be discussing what should your year twos know by the end of year two in music.
That's a really good way of putting that, Corinne.
Thank you.
If you've got any questions by the end of this episode, you probably will, just head over to our Facebook group, which you can find on any browser. Just type in theprimarymusic.group and you will be redirected straight there.
You're really setting us up for a fail there already, aren't you?
Yeah, you'll have some questions.
You heard it.
I'm sure of it.
You heard it from the man himself, the man who has just started learning how to speak German, Pete Jenkins.
You heard it from the woman who thinks she is amazing at backgammon, Corinne Hope.
Not thinks, is.
Thinks.
Okay, let's just get on with it, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Year two.
Yeah, we've upgraded. A few weeks ago it was year one, now it's year two.
Yeah, and a lot of it is very similar.
It is very similar. So if you haven't, if you're kind of wanting to do this in order and you haven't listened to the year one, what your year one should know by the end of the year, maybe listen to that one first just to give yourself a little idea of the basics, because we're just going to be working from that and making it a little bit more detailed.
Are we? Okay.
I would say.
No, I think the emphasis needs to be more, and we're going to try and work through it a little bit better. But the main kind of one for year two, a lot more is to do with singing, isn't it?
Yes, there's a lot more singing in it, and also there's a lot more repertoire that the modern music curriculum gives you as well.
Yeah, and as we said before in the previous podcast, you don't have to take this repertoire as gospel. You can branch out. You can use other things, which I would probably recommend you do.
You don't have to use any of them.
You don't have to use any of them. And obviously have a little look at it and see what they've got, just to kind of give yourself an idea of the general kind of standard of difficulty in ability in the songs. But you really don't need to do any of these if you really don't want to, or if your kids don't enjoy them. So play it by ear, because it's, a lot of these songs I've never even heard of.
I just saw one halfway down the list, which is a traditional Australian one called I Got Kicked by a Kangaroo. That's a great name.
That sounds like an amazing song.
Yeah, we do need to check that out.
You should. There's some funny names in here, though, isn't there? There is some interesting, Searching for Lambs. Teddy Bear Rock and Roll, that sounds quite cool.
Yeah.
To be fair, Ebenezer Sneezer. Do you know what? Scrap what I said. You should do these songs.
You should at least have a listen to these songs.
Yeah, absolutely. I will be having a listening to them after this podcast recording. But definitely take a little look at the repertoire and see if there's anything in there that kind of sparks an idea, or even just, like you said, giving yourself an idea of what the ability should be before you start picking things that are crazy difficult to actually teach.
Well, make sure you read the line before, which is, this repertoire should not limit the imagination and creativity of the teachers in terms of seeking and using other musical examples.
Exactly.
Make sure you branch out, see what would actually interest your children, see what might engage them on a particular day or year. If there's a song that is in the charts, and your class are constantly singing it anyway, why not use that?
But also try not to expand the pitch range too much. One of the main things in this sort of year two age is to start with a small pitch range, just so that the notes that they actually are going to be doing can be done relatively accurately before, it's like, don't run before you can walk kind of thing. So
it says in there, sing songs regularly with a pitch range of do-so with increasing vocal control. Mm-hmm. I don't think a few primary teachers would know what do-so is, Corinne.
I knew you were going on that. Do-so is just basically that range of 5 notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That was 8 notes.
What's that from?
Sound of Music.
Oh, is it The Sound of Music?
Yeah, do,
yes, of course it is.
Yeah. So you can even use that song.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Yeah, and it definitely
Do, re, mi.
stops at so.
Well, no, it goes all the way up to do.
Yeah, it can do that. You can stop whenever you want.
You can stop whenever you want. But yeah, that's a great kind of reference to it. You know, that's a great sing-along song for children in general, just learning about those scales. So yeah, I would definitely recommend starting with something like that and then trying some other stuff that uses similar notes.
Yeah. I'm trying to work out what the... So the first point in singing is sing songs regularly with a pitch range of do-so with increasing vocal control.
Mm-hmm.
But then the second one is sing songs with a small pitch range, pitching accurately.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference?
There is no difference
between them 2 points.
I don't think there is a difference, really. I mean, the point is that the pitch range of do-so is just notes 1 through to 5 of a scale. So I guess if you're singing a melody, you're not necessarily going to be singing a scale, but you're going to still be using within the key notes 1 through to 5 within the melody, hopefully.
But that is a small pitch range.
Yeah, small pitch range. Yeah.
So I'd say them two are exactly the same. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So why were you singing that do, a deer, a female deer? Ray, yeah, that's a small pitch range.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much.
No.
As long as it's not crazy up and down like something like Chandelier by Sia or something.
Yeah, you don't want to do anything too crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then obviously, if we're going to be covering some more singing, we need to know more to do with the meaning of the words dynamics and tempo. So changing those dynamics, teachers use those hands.
Yeah.
Get used to using those hands to be very expressive with the singing. And
not just your hands as well, use your whole body.
Whole body.
I used to do like loud, as in I'd put my hands in the air, but then quiet, I'd like crouch down a little bit. And it's a really good way of showing exactly what you mean without actually saying it.
Visual symbols.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so don't be afraid to get very much physically involved. As long, if you can, do what you can. Make it exciting. Be creative.
So the dynamics word for loud is forte, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that what they mean there? The actual
No,
words behind it, or is it just loud and quiet?
No, I think it's to do with knowing the meaning and understanding what loud and quiet mean.
Yeah. So you don't have to
and
go
then
into
being able to
forte.
demonstrate them.
Yeah. Okay.
So I wouldn't go into that for year 2, to be honest. It's I think it's just more a case of understanding the difference between loud and quiet. Like that symbol, that sort the sounds sheet I made the other day on our resources list.
Yeah. So visual representation of where loud is and where quiet is. You mean?
Well, just being able to sort the sounds, so you have a little kind of, if your students are struggling with it, you have a box grid, so you have loud, quiet, high and low, and you hear a sound and they have to put it into the correct box.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's high pitched and loud will go in there, or if it's high pitched and quiet, that sort of thing. Yeah. Thank you.
Very good. And then following on from that, it says demonstrate these dynamics when singing by responding to either the leader's directions, so I guess that could be body language or your hands, or even just saying it out loud, quiet, fast, slow. But it also says visual symbols as well. So
Crocodiles.
Yeah. And it says crescendo there, doesn't it? So
Crocodile teeth.
Crocodile. What do you mean?
That's what they used to call it. If you look at an actual kind of visual crescendo, yeah.
Okay, that makes
if you,
sense.
it's like a sideways V, isn't it?
Yes.
And that means get louder.
Yeah.
And then the other way means get quieter. So it's kind of
what would
pretty
you call
easy.
the other one? Has that got a name? So crocodile teeth is crescendo.
Yeah.
What's a D?
That's still a crocodile teeth, but you just have it the other way around.
Oh yeah, true. A left-facing crocodile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That makes sense.
That's how I remembered it.
Ah, that's clever. Nice.
Okay, so that's basically all you need to do in singing, really. It's pretty easy for year 2.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, relies heavily on just singing songs, exploring dynamics, which is very much kind of something that the teachers need to be willing to use their bodies for. Or
you need to be able to sing it out loud confidently in front of your class.
Leading the class.
Yes, and doing it in a way that's going to picking the songs as well that's going to make your class excited to sing with you, rather than picking oats and beans and barley grow from me. No offence if you like that
It
song.
could be a banger.
It could be a banger. I actually haven't heard it.
No,
So.
I know. I think, I definitely want to hear what I Got Kicked by a Kangaroo sounds like.
Yeah, that could be quite fun. Let's have a listen.
All right, so the next section for year 2 is all about listening. So again, very similar to year 1. Learning of music is enriched by developing people's shared knowledge and understanding of the stories, origins, traditions, history, and social context of music they are listening to, singing and playing. Now, remember this time we talked about that. It was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Doesn't it?
It was so intense. Like, it's generally children aren't necessarily going to, as soon as they hear a piece, be able to understand the origins and traditions and history and social context of the music they are playing.
Yeah.
But it is worth noting when you are showing different styles to have maybe some visual aids to enhance those kind of parts to it. So, for example, the blues. You're just having somewhere in the classroom where you can have a poster all about the origins of the blues, examples of the blues.
Yeah, so you don't really... do you mean in terms of you don't really need to teach every little bit, but they have a space where they can go and find it out?
Yes, exactly, yeah. Yeah. It's difficult, isn't it? Because you want to try and expand children's listening, repertoire as much as possible from a young age.
Yes.
And yes, there are certain styles that you need to kind of focus on first, but these are just guides.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you probably don't need to focus on them first either, do you? Surely we want to be engaging the children with what they're actually interested in before showing them these styles.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's it. You look at a song that they might be interested in at the moment, and then you explore the actual style behind it afterwards. So it's that case of engage first, teach after. Yeah, isn't it?
If you look at any kind of pop song in the charts or something they are interested in,
it may not even be a pop song.
Oh no, exactly. It could be anything. If you go back to like the roots of that kind of style and genre, that will have a link straight away to blues or hip hop or something
or
like
rock
that.
And roll. Yeah, exactly. And then you look and explore different areas of that genre, different artists, different social contexts, like you say, or years, decades where they was really prominent. But I think that's probably a more creative way of looking at it. Find out what they're listening to first, and then relate that to the subject that you're actually trying to teach. If you go straight in and go, "Oh, this is a great band, you should listen to this," they're going to go, "I don't really know what that is."
Yeah, it's going to get confusing very quickly.
And you need to relate it to something that they will actually know first.
True.
In order to get them hooked on something that you like and that you want to show them.
Yeah.
Because then they'll trust you a little bit more as well.
Yeah, something that you're happy to listen to every week for 6 weeks.
And there's some interesting ones on here. There's the Western classical and traditional film ones. They're very similar to what we looked at in year 1.
Yeah, the Mozart and Holst are the same, aren't they?
Yeah.
But we've got... I actually don't know either of these two either.
I know Bolero.
Okay.
But I don't know the other ones.
Nice. So Night Ferry by Anna Klein, or Bolero by Ravel?
Sure.
One or the other. I really thought you'd have an answer for me there. Okay, cool. And then going into popular music, we've got the classic Elvis Presley Hound Dog. Like that one, I'm sure.
That's a cool tune. Yeah.
I think that is a very good one to do.
Yeah, a bit of Elvis Presley.
Yeah. And actually, the Beatles, with a little help from my friends.
Great choice.
Very kind of classic, very cute to sing as primary school. So
definitely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say it was pop, but...
That's true. I would say it's pop from its era, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've probably
this is the thing.
We've probably changed the idea of pop nowadays.
Pop has evolved so much.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a great place to look at that kind of evolution of music, is if you're going to reference a pop song that they know.
Yeah.
And then you can look at this earlier pop song by the Beatles.
Yeah, exactly. Just always link it back.
And yeah.
What would you say, with a little help from my friends is then? Would you say that's rock? Is that what you're going
It's
towards?
like an acoustic rock, isn't it? It's not. It's more. I would say it's more of a folk rock kind of vibe.
True. I mean, you can still teach it, can't you?
Of course.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, so yeah, keep going with that. I mean, like I said, don't feel like you're limited to these pieces. Use them as reference, but don't necessarily use them as gospel.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is important to understand the origins of some music. So I do agree with that point. It just could be worded in a much better way.
True. I mean, to give them credit there, I think that Elvis Presley and the Beatles is probably two people that we should be teaching our primary kids.
I think they're good choices.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're going to look into composing, which we did do a little bit of this in year one.
Yeah, it
was more of the graphic symbols, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think they're actually coming later on, from what I remember. But I guess the first point is create music in response to a non-musical stimulus. So a storm, a race car, or a rocket launch. So that's really nice. Again, we talked about that in the last one. Making stories out of music, playing percussion, maybe getting rain shakers, things like that.
You should try it.
What, right now? Mm-hmm. We don't have a rain shaker in here.
No, we'll just make a storm.
Oh, right, okay. Create music. I guess you can do that with your mouth, can't you? But I think they're talking about more percussion and things like that there. And we don't have any of that.
No, we don't. We should prepare more.
We should really, shouldn't we?
We'll do it for year 3, it's fine.
Okay, cool. Look forward to that.
Yeah, work with a partner to improvise simple questions and answer phrases to be sung and played on untuned percussion, creating a musical conversation.
That's quite interesting.
It's definitely interesting. It kind of moves more towards learning how to improv, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, composing comes from improv, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So once you get that question and answer, if you can kind of remember it and then write it down in some way, whatever that may be, the easiest way to remember it, then you are starting that composition, aren't you?
Yeah. Here you go, Pete. There we go. We had a lovely conversation.
Yeah, that was good. Should we do the rest of the podcast like that?
Yeah. It's like Morse code, isn't it? I thought you were going to... I was giving you the ba-ba-da-da-ba-ba. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the classic, isn't it?
That's a classic question and answer right there.
That's not an improvisation, though, which is what it's asking us for.
Okay. Use graphic symbols, dot notation and stick notation as appropriate to keep a record of the composed pieces. What is dot and stick notation?
See, that kind of links towards starting to write notes. So I would say that dot notation is the actual notes on a stage.
I don't think it is, though.
I don't think it is either.
No.
Because then the only reason I got to that was that dot notation and then stick notation.
Put them together.
And you've got the notes. You see?
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. I don't think it's that.
No.
I think it's...
It's just... You can Google while doing a podcast.
I think it's more just to do with like graphic notation.
Stick notation. Okay. So it's very simple musical notes. But that's basically what I was saying. It's the... If you think about a crotchet or a note or something like that, it is the stick of that.
It's just the stick, isn't it?
It's just the stick. Which means, I assume, dot notation is just dots. That's coding.
That's definitely coding.
Yeah, okay, we don't want that. But I assume dot notation would just be the start.
And that's great, because you can just combine that with words.
Yeah.
Like, like tea, coffee, and like make it more syllabic.
Remember that this is untuned percussion that you're playing it on, though, so don't worry about doing notation as any kind of note.
Exactly.
If that's what you're
It's all rhythmic, isn't it?
It's all just rhythmic.
So use words like cappuccino, cauliflower, cheesecake.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
And then try and figure out how you'd write that down.
As those sticks.
As sticks, or dot notation.
There you go.
And then we're there. And I like this last point that we had before, which is using music technology, if available, to capture, change and combine the sounds. So
do it.
Get some iPads out, get GarageBand up.
Get your keyboards out.
Yeah, anything you've got available, basically.
See what sounds they've got. And this is very similar, isn't it? So we're into the musicianship side of it now.
You were meant to say that sentence the other way around, really, weren't you?
Yes. So we're into the musicianship side of it now. It's very similar, really.
Because everyone else can't see what we're looking at.
That's true. So we talked a lot about this back in when we looked at year one, and it's a general kind of discussion of pulse and rhythm and pitch. So the three kind of general areas of musicianship. By this point, they should already have a relatively good understanding of what the pulse and beat is. But it may... Why did you highlight that?
I was just looking at the new bit.
Oh, right. You threw me off.
Oh, sorry. Carry on.
I thought I was saying something wrong. I don't know what I was saying anymore.
I was preparing for my next sentence.
I've lost it.
Right, okay.
I was saying something about they should already have a relatively okay understanding of the pulse, at least, or have experienced learning about the pulse and beat and the difference between pulse and rhythm and pitch. So it's, I guess, just learning a little bit more off of that, you know, going off on a little bit more of a, not necessarily a tangent, but exploring a little bit further.
I think from reading the pulse beat section of this modern music curriculum, it is kind of very similar, but they're being a bit more specific about every aspect of it. So they're saying that we want to mark the beat of listening to a piece, so tapping or clapping to recognise the tempo. So that's kind of the same as we needed to do before, but we're saying it's an outcome now, which I think you would try and do in year one anyway. And then it says walk in time to the beat of a piece of music, which is the same thing really, but instead of tapping, we're going to walk around the room.
But it's also to do with knowing the difference between left and right.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I didn't read on.
Yeah,
that
which is quite important.
Yeah, definitely. So start with your left foot. And
I would
like
say
that.
start with your right foot. It's always start with your right.
Well, I don't think that matters.
It does.
Does it?
Ask any drummer.
Yeah.
Always start with your right hand or your right foot.
See, I'm not a drummer.
There you go.
There you go. Corinne had like 3 drum lessons and now she's the expert.
Oh, come on. It was a bit more than 3.
Yeah, true. You did well.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's all good. And then... what's after that? Begin to group beats in 2s and 3s by tapping on knees on the first strongest beat of the bar and clapping the remaining beats. So that's
very simple.
That's just talking about 4/4 time signatures, isn't it?
And basically just enhancing beat 1.
The 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What does it mean by group beats in 2s and 3s? What does that mean in that?
Different time signatures, I think.
Oh, yes,
so
of course.
If we're going to count in 4/4 or if we're counting in 3/4.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So groupings.
Yeah, so it's...
bars.
Yeah, basically.
Essentially. But I would... These are good song choices again, but just maybe have a little look and explore something that's got a little bit more... excitement to it.
So there's
some very famous popular songs that have a 3/4 time signature.
Yeah, definitely. I think so that's what they mean by the last point in the pulse and beat is identify the beat groupings in familiar music. They just mean the time signature. So whether it's in 4/4 or 3/4, basically. I'm going to assume that these are probably in 3/4 on 4/4.
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea. But if you want to teach about 4/4, just listen to any pop song. I like how they say
in familiar music that they sing regularly.
The music that your kids will sing regularly and listen to, i.e. Maple Leaf Rag. Bit of a strange choice, really. But
also, get some songs that they actually know. But then that gives you a good excuse to explore tempo at the same time. So the pulse will be faster in a faster song, slower in a slower song. So it's a bit of a 2-in-1 because you've got earlier on, you need to make sure that they understand the beat can change. i.e. with the tempo.
The tempo
So you
changes,
can, you can, kill two birds with one stone with that one.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one to do, definitely.
And then kind of finishing off from that, rhythm and pitch. So again, these are just a little bit more detailed than they were in the last one. Rhythm, copycat rhythms, so inventing rhythms and then playing them back.
Yeah, they're the same as
Mm-hmm.
the year one, aren't they? I think the difference there is the read and respond to chanted rhythm patterns and represent them with stick notation. So we're just introducing stick notation here, really, aren't we?
Yeah.
So that includes crotchets, which are the 1 beat.
Quavers.
Quavers, which is half a beat, and crotchet rests, 1 beat rest.
Nice, so nice and simple.
Yeah.
Nice and simple rhythms. Again, link them to words. They've mentioned linking them to words as well. So, hello, Simon, can you come and play?
Can you come and play?
Yeah, it's quite a nice little way of doing it. Have your kids come up with their own.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody.
But yeah, no, I really like it. And their pitch, play a range of singing games.
Based on the cuckoo interval. So me. Which one's that? Sorry.
Do, re, mi, fa, so. So it's mi, so.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Mi, so. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. So, singing games, basically. Supported by a leader playing the melody. So that could be playing on whatever instrument you may feel confident with. That could be a recorder, could be a keyboard, could be guitar, whatever.
Yeah, it's just essentially wanting to teach interval jumps. So going from one note to another with a slight distance in between. So nothing too drastic, but nice little interval jumps.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's always good to start teaching that anyway.
Anything else on that bit?
Sing short phrases independently within a singing game or short song. That's fairly self-explanatory, isn't it?
So recognise dot notation and match it to 3-note tunes played on tuned percussion.
Ah, okay.
So now we are looking at a little bit of dot percussion, not dot percussion, dot notation. And
with pictures involved.
I guess that is just to do with shaping.
Yeah, so it's basically whether a dot is placed higher on the sheet of paper or lower on the sheet of paper. It's just going to represent whether it's high or low pitch.
Yeah, it's like mapping, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mapping where it is pitch-wise on a piano, for example, or on a xylophone. So as long as you're paying attention to how far a distance between the notes, the physical distance between the dots are, it will tell you whether or not they're going to be the same note higher by quite a few or just next door. So it seems relatively straightforward. It's quite a nice way of looking at it, I guess. It's quite a cool lead into actually exploring proper notation.
Yeah, exactly. So if you place that straight onto a kind of stave, you'd get some notes which have the same pitches as is written there. So it is a good way of leading in.
Yeah.
And then you can match that with stick notation and you're halfway there.
And then moving on from that, Pete, I have a little challenge from you. From you.
From me?
For you.
Okay, cool. Go for it.
Okay.
It's the challenge segment of the show.
I'm trying to remember what I was going to do.
Dear.
I know what I was going to do, but I'm trying to remember how I was going to do it.
Right.
Okay. Oh, I got it right. Okay. I'm going to hum.
Yes.
Songs.
Right.
And you have to try and work out what they are.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
Let's give it a go.
All right, here we go. This is song number 1. What was that song?
Da, 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 da. It's not that one, is it?
Nope.
No. That's the one that I had in my mind, but then you threw me off with the rest of it. I'm sorry, but I don't know.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I'm picking hard ones, by the way.
Oh, right, thanks. What was it?
Hey Ya by Outkast.
Oh.
Hey Ya.
Oh, yes, of course.
Hey Ya. Okay, right, here's your next one.
Okay. Self-satisfied, I don't need you. I want to break free.
Yes, I
got
want
that
to break
one.
free. Well done. Okay, you've got 2 more. Are you ready?
Okay, yeah. Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let it go. Frozen.
Lovely. Yeah.
One more. Okay. Try and think of a hard one. Okay. Okay. I've forgotten how it goes.
Oh, well, that's great. Thank you so much.
Oh no, I've got it. I've got another one. Ignore that one.
Okay,
Right,
okay.
I'll split it to this one instead.
Da 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 da, always da 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 da. Oh, I know that.
Yes,
I
you
know
do.
that end bit.
I know you do,
I
because
do
this
know it.
appeared in our shared Spotify playlist.
Every time. Is that the N word?
Waste of time is the N words.
Waste of time. Oh, I can't picture what song's called.
Get out right now.
Oh, yes,
It's the
of
end
course.
of you and me.
Yeah, fair enough. Get Out, isn't it?
Leave by
Leave.
JoJo.
There you go. Classics.
I thought they were quite good.
They were pretty good, yeah. I got 2 out of 4. I'll take that. Not bad at all.
Not bad. Well done.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Right. I think we've got through year 2 there, haven't we?
Yeah, I think so. And again, like we said, it's not too much of it's not too far away from year 1. So if you're teaching Key Stage 1, you'll probably be already very familiar with this kind of curriculum.
Yeah, it's just going into a little bit more detail about what things actually are.
And what they mean.
Just describing what you were doing in year 1 with a little bit more detail. And then you'll be there. Should we leave it there?
Yeah, let's leave it there.
Yeah, perfect. Bye.
Bye.
Come say hello, be in the